My next guest spent many years of research to uncover the ancient keys which unlock the ability to cross over at will into heaven and meet with God without dying. And he's astonished people all over the world by teaching them how to do it too. What's more, God himself asked to co-author a book titled The Way. Visit heaven whenever you want. Please welcome Al Collins. So Al, how did you learn to visit heaven?
Well, I grew up in the church system all my life, up until I was in my teens. My mom, she was a healing minister. She had a faith healing ministry for 35 years, and thousands of people were instantly healed. Many were on their deathbeds, even some were raised from the dead. So I was sort of involved with that whole thing as I was growing up with her. So I was always used to miracle signs and wonders, but I always thought there's something more, there's something missing. There's got to be something more that I need to do and get into with God, because it just seemed like prayer for people was just a one-way event, and I wanted to figure out there must be something more to this. So I got in. I did a lot of research. I did a lot of study, and I found out that when you look at the Bible, you see that people actually did go in the Spirit, and because we are made up of a body, soul, and spirit, and our spirit is is light. So I found out that we can act. There were people that are having near-death experiences, and they were going into heaven, visiting relatives, walking with God, but they were coming back. They had to die first. And I thought, well, there's got to be a way to do it and not die. And so I found these keys. It took a while, and I found out how ancient Christians were doing this sort of thing. And so I followed these keys, and I started operating in the supernatural and moving in the spiritual realm, and then going into heaven, and just step by step I was going a little further, and then I was meeting God and meeting relatives that had gone on before me, and walking through gardens and seeing mountains with gold and gems and these sorts of things. And so over the years it's just progressed along.
Do you think you're the only one teaching this, or are there other people out there teaching this as well?
There's a few people that are teaching it. I've been teaching it for quite a number of years. I've taught people all over the world. I've received testimonies from people from all over the world that have learned how to operate in the supernatural, how to go in the Spirit, how to move their spiritual body outside their physical body. And there's a few people that do teach it that I'm aware of. But I know of lots of people that go into the spiritual realm, and they travel to heaven. God wanted me to. One time when I was in his throne room, he said he wanted to write this book, which this book is The Way. Visit heaven whenever you want, and he wanted us to. He wanted me to join him in putting this book out there, because he wants people to have a relationship with him now. Not just a one-way praying, out there and hope he hears it, but he wants to walk around with people like Adam and Eve did, and you don't have to wait till you die. You can do it now. And the bonus or the plus with that is you can go into heaven, not only have this relationship with God, but you can talk with him, and he can give you advice, and because every person here, he loves every person on this planet. And everyone has a destiny and a path or a way that he would like them to follow. And he shows you this path, and he shows you a better way to go with your life than you've already chosen. And you just need to realize that he's got your best interests at heart. He loves you, and he knows a better path for your life than you've tried to figure out for yourself.
You said that Christians at one time knew how to do this. Explain to me where was the disconnect? How did we lose that? Was it more common then than it is now? How do we lose that?
Well, the early Christianity, Christians were taught how to operate in the supernatural. If someone became a Christian, you were water baptized, you received the Holy Spirit baptism, and you had mentors that would teach you how to operate in the supernatural realm and how to move in the Spirit. Even in the Old Testament, you'll see where Ezekiel was taken in the Spirit. John the Apostle in Revelation, he saw and went in the Spirit. Even Moses, he went with over 70 people, and they went and sat down with God and had a meal and drank with him. So it was common practice. It just got lost along the way when people started developing a religion, and
when it became more organized.
Yeah, once in the early Christianity, the Roman Empire persecuted the Christians, so it was very underground type of a thing. And then when Rome decided to accept Christianity as the empire's religion, and they banned and got rid of all the pagan religions, it sort of from there became more organized and more systematic, and over the years it developed more rules and more doctrines, and then it just kind of became almost a replica of the temple system from the Old Testament, where people went to the temple to pray, and there was the priest system. And this is what we see today. People are going to a special building that they call a holy place, and it's run by a priest or a pastor. That's almost a takeaway from the priest system that was in the Old Testament. So people drifted away from operating in the supernatural and operating in the Spirit, and became more of a religion-based faith system rather than supernaturally based.
Do you think your techniques can work in conjunction with how Christianity and religious is operating today?
The religious system today is for the most part, very anti-supernatural events. Many religious systems they don't like to see gifts of the Holy Spirit in operation. They don't like to see things that are happening in the supernatural. A lot of denominations even openly are hostile against these sort of things. They call them demonic even. And this is unfortunate, because really they're doing a disservice to Christians, because what they should be doing, what mature Christians should be doing, is equipping Christians to operate in the supernatural, to fulfill their gifts, to develop a relationship with God, so that they know what their destiny is and what their path is, so that they can work in conjunction as a partnership with God to fulfill His will and advance His kingdom on earth.
Let's talk a little bit about heaven and what that looks like. You touched upon it briefly, but what does it look like to a newcomer or to someone who's done it before?
Well, the first time, it's all in my book. In every chapter of the book, I give a story of what happened when I was in heaven and walking with Jesus or walking with Father, whatever. There's so many stories to choose from over so many years, but I've walked in the Garden of Eden with Father. I've met Adam. I've met Moses and other people from the Bible. I had a birthday party in heaven for my mom and my dad was there. My grandparents, my aunts and uncles were there. We had a big banquet, birthday party. Jesus was there. And it's hard to put in words, because the colors are so bright and vibrant. There's so many different kinds of flowers and animals and mountains made out of gems and gold, and huge oceans. And I've been in the throne room with God, and of course there's angels all over everywhere, different sized angels, different colored angels. It's really, there really isn't anything here on earth that can compare to not only a relationship you have with God, because you get so much peace and calmness, and any stresses are taken away, because you're walking with Him and you're on the right path in life, and nothing can really take away from that.
Do you see people you knew as you remember them, or as they were in their prime, or when they passed? How do you... How does that work?
The people I see, they are. If I picked an age, they'd be looking around 30. My mom and my dad died as seniors, but they don't look like seniors. Everybody's very joyful. They're very happy, very upbeat. People when you're in heaven, you don't just sit around playing harp or these different things that people think. We don't become angels. We are children of God. We're separate from angels. We're separate entities from angels, and everybody there is very young, very vibrant. There's always things to do in heaven. You're preparing yourself for here, because when you become a Christian here, which also isn't normally taught in the religious systems here, is God says once you become a Christian, you are a saint now. You are a Lord, because Jesus is Lord of Lords. Well, we are the Lords. We're a child of God. We're a royal priest, and we're joint heirs with Jesus right now. We don't have to wait for all this to get all these blessings when we die. We can have them right now.
So, Al, what's the goal of this book?
Father wanted me to write this book with him, put what he had to say in every chapter, put all these keys in there to assist people to get on the path of how to come to him, how to visit heaven now, how to get a hold of his blessings now, how to find out what am I going to do with my life? Am I on the right path? What can I do with my destiny? So he wants everybody to know that he loves every single person very much, and he doesn't want people to suffer. He doesn't want people to be depressed. He doesn't want people searching around out there for, what should I be doing? Which religion is the right religion? He doesn't want anybody bogged down in religion. Religion doesn't represent him in any way. He wants each person to come to him and have a personal one-on-one relationship with him. So that's his goal. He wants people to, once you develop that one-on-one relationship with Father, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, and are operating in the supernatural realm, you'll start walking on the right path, the right way, and you'll know what your destiny is. You'll know your right path, and this is what he wants. And you'll start operating as a Lord, and as a saint, as a royal priest.
Well, it's a great message, and I thank you for sharing it, and I wish you a lot of luck with your mission.
Okay, thank you very much for having me, and I'll see everybody on the way while we're in heaven.
To get his book, The Way, and to learn more about his ministry, please visit his website, wayoftheeagle.org.